Daniel, I'm a little self-conscious about this episode. This isn't the Texas Whiskey Tribe. This is the Whiskey Everywhere Tribe. So we're very intentional about how much we're trying to put a spotlight on Texas whiskey, and that could get really easily overly emphasized.
Well, partially, we're friends with all of them.
It's hard to be objective and have that kind of arm's length assessment of the whiskey. Fortunately, whiskey advocates stepped up to the plate.
12 Texas whiskeys that are serving big flavors.
So they basically chose
like
12 Texas whiskey distilleries.
We know a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
We've worked with a lot of these guys.
But there's a lot of experience behind the scenes that goes beyond just what you have in that bottle. And there's some things about Texas whiskey, which I'll use the word unfortunate.
Yeah, some people don't like to talk about it.
Here we go.
This is Firestone and Robertson.
Well, that's a huge distiller. That's a dark whiskey.
That is a dark whiskey.
Yeah. So you're probably going to be most familiar with the release that made them famous.
Yeah,
that was the TX blended. It wasn't until they did this.
Well, they stepped it up on this one. So,
because I remember they did a bourbon.
Yeah.
And it was like,
it's great.
It was
and
phenomenal.
they did a cask strength bourbon, and we loved it. This is that bourbon that we loved, finished in a sherry cask.
All right. Okay. Yeah, it's so good though. So that color, do we know the age on this?
147
years old. Just the candied pecans. You have those caramelized sugar on the pecan.
Yeah, to me,
I
was gonna say, I mean, pecan is psychosomatic now because I said it.
Yeah.
I would go with the almond that I typically get from the Olorosa sherry cask.
Very sweetened tea. It's got like a dark, rich, mature wood. There's some wood oil in there.
Yeah, there's a berries and almost a cream and berries combo, but it's so surrounded by that wood tannin.
And we don't know the age on this.
No.
Okay.
147. Because Texas whiskey's all like really old. Most people don't know that.
Yeah. Which brings us to the first sad, unfortunate, kind of sucky thing about making whiskey in Texas. Texas whiskey in general is not going to have a very impressive age statement.
Yeah, this is true of anywhere you've got distilleries with a really high heat impact.
Yeah.
Certain things like the oak in the whiskey aging process just ramp up dramatically.
This is a 15-year-old whiskey barrel. This could not happen in Texas.
No, it came out of here looking like straw color.
Climate makes a dramatic difference in what happens to that whiskey. But the point is, in the world of whiskey and age statements, a lot of people want to see
high age. What matters really is, what does it taste like?
Let's find out. Let's drink some more. Most other categories, you look at a color like that, it's either E150 coloring, which this is not, or you're in a very warm climate like Texas.
Or it's really old, like this one, 147 years. Oh God, yeah, come on. It's still going and it unfurled into pound cake.
Yeah, really,
Andalusia Striker.
Yeah.
This is their approach to a single malt scotch, smoked scotch, but smoked with mesquite and apple and oak wood. Oh, look at that round apple, smoked apple.
Like a meaty, peppered steak, savory quality to that nose. A lot of times you say smoke and people associate it, well, I know smoky scotches. Totally different kind of smoke.
This is closer to, like, in the American market, this is going to be closer to your Colkagan or your Del Bach.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with like a Texas pit barbecue type of savory smoke.
The next one is one of my favorite Balcones releases.
Me and Jared Hempstead hate each other's guts. Oh, he makes his own fanny packs?
Oh, yeah.
Out of leather? Reach out to Balcones. He doesn't like to trumpet it, but he has his own Etsy store. He does leather work, specializing in fanny packs. So if you can reach out to Balcones, and they'll give you a direct link to Jared's Etsy store. But really premium quality fanny packs. Hand-stitched leather. He'd be happy to do it. So just reach out to Balcones. If you can email him about the fanny pack that you want. You know what? We really like each other. He will hate me after this.
So this is Lineage. This is used oak, among other things, right? And this is the fruitiest of their larger released malts that I've ever had.
Yes, it's also one of their newer releases.
To me, this is an antique wood fruit explosion combo.
That is a buttery, fruity caramel. What are the identifying characteristics of most Texas whiskeys?
I think it is this dense mid-palate.
Okay.
And that's really broad. But there's a couple of whiskeys in here that are not like that in my experience. What I would say a Texas whiskey brings to the table is this dense, rich, oil-heavy mid-palate.
There's a big sweetness, but it doesn't get carried away and become sugary and brittle.
Right.
It has so much heft of flavor backing all of that.
Next up, our friends in San Antonio,
Yes.
Ranger Creek.
Okay.
And this is their bourbon.
Okay.
But it's cask strength. There is that, and there's on this one though. There's a slightly herbal green tea note in the very back.
This isn't jumping out at me like I would expect a cask strength to
Softer.
jump out. Yeah.
And the cask strength, by the way, is at 64.2 on this release.
Oh my gosh.
Alcohol, 128.4 proof. It has got that walnut wax note still,
Yeah,
right?
And honestly, that sweetness does come across as more of that American classic brown sugar sweetness.
Wow, the richness on that palate just sort of unrolls walnut wax and spice and honey and tannins.
The oak, the oak shows up early and it just is the base carrying all those flavors.
Now the next one,
Yes.
the one that went on the list was a normal Still Austin musician bourbon. But what we got is the cask strength release. And we can actually get their normal one. I had a bottle.
You couldn't be bothered.
Someone took it, it turns out. And I didn't realize it until 30 minutes before we started shooting. I went to go get it, and it was gone.
You can't leave things laying around.
You really can't.
Another sad and unfortunate thing about Texas whiskey is there's actually not a Texas whiskey category. You pretty much anybody can make it. Here, we talk about it. Here's the thing. What are the legal parameters for something to be an actual Texas whiskey?
There aren't any.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. So here's what happened is you can legislate that stuff, but getting somebody to get behind it is almost impossible.
Why?
So because what's the upside?
Well, like the Texas whiskey scene has a clearly defined category.
I mean, for a lawmaker.
that you can build business around. Because look,
You would think so. Yeah.
Now you have a situation where you have like Canadian distilleries releasing Texas whiskey that never saw anything from Texas ever.
We agree.
It's frustrating because the whiskey coming out of Texas
Is distinct.
It is distinct.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the reasons we started the Whiskey Association, the Texas Whiskey Association, was to establish guidelines for what we think defines Texas whiskey.
Right.
And what we think defines Texas whiskey is whiskey made in Texas.
That's pretty good.
I know that sounds
pretty good
out there. Everyone hold on to your seats. But all we ask is that you make it in Texas from all your mashing and fermentations through to aging. What we hoped is that by creating a movement of Texas whiskey community, drinkers and Texas whiskey makers and fans, like people like Whiskey Advocate, picking a list of Texas whiskeys, all of which are true Texas whiskeys, that we might be able to move the needle through positive influence instead of like, we're gonna make you obey. It's just like, no, we're gonna create a movement that you all wanna get behind.
Yeah.
And so this sticker is issued by the Texas Whiskey Association, and it's called Certified Texas Whiskey. It is what we use to mark a whiskey that's made from mashing all the way through to aging in Texas. Now, we don't require that your grain be 100% Texan, but we require every other step of the process be in Texas, and that's it. This still has that rich mid-palate nose.
Like a sweet, fresh eucalyptus layer.
This next one is Iron Root. And now, here's the thing. On the list is Iron Root Harbinger. Dude, Iron Root is so popular right now, it's almost impossible to get their whiskeys.
This whiskey has been winning all types of awards.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good case study of how important the design of the bottle is. Because everybody agrees the whiskey's horrible. Horrible. No, but they genuinely are like the nicest guys. It's a family business. Their mom works in the business.
It's so rich and deep molasses and fruit.
Yeah, there's like the cowboy boot store.
Fresh leather cut.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be shocked at how high the proof is on this. 122, but it drinks so soft and gentle.
Because I know they are experimenting a lot with in-barrel proofing. Is that one of the things you can do with in-barrel proofing? Is get something like a mile high with the proof, but it drinks so soft. Here's it, because it's not the one that you guys can easily get. But I was just gonna hold it over here.
No, I'm gonna.
This episode is brought to you by Creatures of Habit, the protagonist. It's superhuman oats for your face. Allow me to demonstrate. This is how strong you could be if you eat these oats. Soup oats. Superhuman oats. We actually tried it the other day. It was super good, super healthy, lots of great ingredients. It was delicious.
As we do before we take on a sponsor, we try it out. We're recording the process to see what we think about the Creatures of Habit.
The ingredients in this are actually insanely good for you.
Okay.
There's a lot of ingredients that are super good for heart health.
My main thing is, does it taste good?
Is it weird that I like refrigerated oatmeal a lot?
Cold oats, it's a really nice thing.
I think I like the cold blueberry.
30 grams of plant-based protein. It's also a kick-ass probiotic for gut health. It's convenient, fits into any routine. Vitamins, vitamin D3, omega-3s. You never have to take vitamins again. It's all in here. Well, a lot of them are in here. Not all of them, so consult your doctor. The good ones are in here. The tasty ones. Check out the link in the description below. Use code TRIBE15 for 15% off your order. Protagonist, baby!
The next one, we have what they had on the list. Treaty Oak
We did it.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
This is their Ghost Hill release.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Very different though.
It is.
But really brown sugar heavy.
There's a fresh, again, I'm going to go back to that farm fresh hay and granola.
Yeah, it's definitely grain forward, but there's also like a chocolate orange, like a Terry's chocolate orange.
I was about to say like a honey nut, almost like a cereal quality.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Same kind of mid-palate, but not as oily, and a little more fresh, closer to Still Austin.
Yeah.
In the lightness
This is
of it.
on the palate, a nice oaky cinnamon balance. Wow.
Okay, the next one on the list was Garrison Brothers.
Okay.
Small batch,
Yeah.
which is also one of the ones that somebody took, and I don't have that I thought I had.
This isn't the one on the list.
No, it's actually one that's like a couple $100 more expensive.
All right, so again, this isn't fair. This is the Balmorea.
Yeah.
Actually, this is my favorite Garrison.
Yeah, the 2021 Balmorea.
Yeah.
Really good, really rich. 115 proof.
The oakiness is the front leading flavor.
The irony is, of all the whiskeys, especially the ones like this one, which is 372 years old, you would think some of the other ones would be more oaky. But this one is the first one in the list that presents
Molasses
wood
and oak.
first.
Yeah.
But then it's wrapped in all these other flavors.
Wood, that oak, that barrel, and then there's like a deep, dark, rich molasses that runs in there.
There's not an herbal note.
No, you feel the 55.7% ABV. There is like that life, the springiness of the alcohol. That feels like it's up there, but the flavors keep up. If you really like oaky, wood forward, deep, rich, big walls of flavor, Garrison Brothers. Beyond just that one in general. This kind of strikes close to home.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurts a little.
Being in a warm climate.
Yeah, they can get over oaked really fast.
So fast.
I mean, if you just take a couple of months off from checking things, and
Yeah.
especially in small barrels,
Yeah.
it can get away from you.
Why did you point to those barrels in particular, Daniel?
Because the whiskey stayed in there too long.
Turned into this.
Yeah.
Huh.
That deep, dense sweetness that you're used to getting in Texas,
Yeah.
followed by, wham, whacked upside the head with an oak barrel.
It just is too bitter. The sweetness is lovely, and you want that sweetness balanced to get a little bit of bitterness, but not this much.
Longhorn rye
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Gulf Coast.
Nice. Now already the color is pretty light for a Texas.
Yeah. Well, this one is negative 14 years old. That's why it's so light.
Where are you getting your information?
Wikipedia. So I have not tried this one. It's their lower proof accessible kind of rye.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for is classic rye notes, but
Well, there's a little bit of an herbal quality to it, but it's not black licorice. I'm not getting a lot of the spice, but I am getting that farm fresh American craft with a little bit of that rye grassy.
okay. That's soft and vanilla,
It's so light, and
very gentle.
sweet,
Yeah.
easy sipping right there.
All the herbal and brightness and sharpness is in the nose. The palate is super soft.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about kind of the unfortunate aspects about Texas whiskey. Where'd you go?
I didn't realize we were shooting.
But one of the best things about Texas whiskey is it is right now delivering some beautiful spirits.
Yes.
So this is an internal project, a collaboration with
With 12 other Texas whiskey distilleries.
this exploration of Texas whiskeys, these 12 unique samples from 12 distillers. That's going to be everything from, you got bourbon, you got wheat, you got rye, you got malt. And what did we tell the distillers whenever they were hand selecting a single barrel for us to put into these sample bottles?
So this is your one chance to pick a barrel that you think is most unique and most representative of the cool things that you are capable of doing at your distillery that may not hit the general public.
It's going to be a live stream.
March 19th at 1 p.m. Central Time.
So that's a Saturday.
A live stream drinking the 12 Texas whiskeys.
And here's the best part. We now have a new retail partner that is currently able to get you whiskey in 41 states. What's with the mismatched color?
Yeah, we ran out of bottles and bottle caps. There's actually 2 different kinds of bottles in there too.
So.
Oh, we also ran out of graphic ideas.